That's it for now, but we'll see you next week for more stories about cars and the people who drive them. More stories about cars and the people who drive them. More stories about cars and the people who drive them. You've been hearing me say that line for 32 years, and back in 1988, the internet was just around the corner, so magazines were probably the biggest source for car reviews, and Motoring TV may have hit a sweet spot with a new audience, and many of you have been with us since the beginning, and to you, a big thank you. But back to cars and the people who drive them. When we first began, we assumed that car people would watch the program. But we wanted to appeal to Canadians who just want to get from A to B, like their vehicle. In fact, sometimes it's part of the family. We thought, heck, it'd be really nice to tell their stories. So with that in mind, let's begin this week's episode with a story about a special car and the person who drives it.
I have been driving cars ever since I could. Learned in a high school parking lot to drive standard. So 16 back then is when you could start driving, and have been loving driving ever since. Learned on a stick shift. Fast forward to 2005. This car was a car that my dad bought. He was pretty proud of it. Sexy as hell. Loved the color. He was very proud of the color. And he actually drove me down the long driveway at our equestrian center where I got married in that car. So special place in my heart for sure. Last summer, he kind of out of the blue approached me and just said, you know what, I'd like to gift you this car. I know that, you live in the city, having a little car to drive to meetings and stuff would probably be ideal. It's just sitting around not getting driven. So you know what, why don't I pass the car on to you?
I bought it back in 2005 when they first came out. I drove it for several years, and I just thought it was a really great value car. The maintenance was like minimal. I'll have to say that I gave it to my daughter because she deserved it. And secondly, she wasn't ready for the Viper.
I've always been fond of the car for the same reasons that my dad loved it. It's sexy as hell, the body on it is beautiful, it's like no other car, it drives pretty badass, and the color is pretty fabulous. I have to agree with him there.
It gets noticed. It's sort of a unique vehicle. It's one of those vehicles as such. I don't think a lot of people really understand how good they were well made. It was even, in my opinion, is even better than the SLK because they put some improvements in that thing just to put it on the American market.
It's got a couple 100K on it, but don't let that fool you. The car has balls. It can go, and I drive it like I stole it pretty much every time.
The biggest thing is that it's so economical in terms of maintenance. It's like maintenance free. It's probably one of the best cars that Chrysler ever developed with Mercedes.
Even being an avid cyclist and having a full appreciation for the environment and for eco-friendly ways, it's an experience like no other. Being able to get in a car, being able to drive it hard, feeling it sort of push back when you push it, there's just nothing like it. This car is really a part of the family. It's been, like I said, part of a really important milestone in my life, in my father's life, the day he, gave me away. And funny enough, he said, if you ever sort of fatigue of the car or you're ever thinking about getting rid of it for whatever reason, he said, don't sell it, just give it back to me. However, my two young boys who are not quite near driving age have already expressed a keen interest in taking over and being able to drive the car. Really have taken amazing care of it. We've sent him pictures and he's just impressed that we care for the car as much as he did. And notwithstanding the history of the car, just being able to create new memories with it, it's pretty fantastic.
It was great meeting Cynthia and her Crossfire. And we're always looking for more stories like this. So drop us a line at Motoring TV and our popular Facebook, where the only topic of conversation is the automobile. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. And also, don't forget our Motoring TV shop, where you can pick up some Motoring TV fashion, either for yourself or as a gift. Heck, I'm starting to sound like a car salesman here. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Anyway, that's it for this week. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them. So here's the question. Where were you 32 years ago. I know some of you weren't even a glint in your father's eye. As for me, well, I was in diapers but found time to get Motoring TV off the ground. And today I like to think we've got one of the best automotive video libraries in the world. If you agree, please give us the thumbs up and also subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.